While exploring in the wilderness, archaeologist Jack suddenly spotted a cave in the distance. What shocked him was that it wasn't overgrown with weeds like everything else around. Filled with curiosity, he rushed over to check it out, only to be stunned by what he saw at the entrance, a motionless human figure standing inside the cave. No matter how loudly Jack called out, the person didn't respond at all. With no other choice, Jack decided to enter the cave alone and investigate. But as soon as he took a few steps forward, he felt something invisible blocking his path. Reaching out his hand, he touched what seemed to be an invisible wall, completely separating the cave from the outside world. The bizarre scene only made Jack more curious. Without hesitation, he stepped through the invisible barrier and continued deeper inside. But the moment he crossed it, something felt off. The man inside suddenly began to move. Before Jack could even react, the man disappeared around a nearby corner. Even stranger, the moment Jack entered the cave, the light outside began to flicker erratically. Before he could figure out what was going on, a blood-curdling scream echoed from within the cave. Terrified, Jack turned and fled toward the entrance. But just as he stepped outside, he saw something even more chilling. Though it felt like only a few minutes had passed, it was already nighttime outside. How could time have become so distorted? What Jack didn't know was that from the moment he first passed through the invisible barrier, 3 full days had gone by in the outside world. His disappearance led his student to believe something terrible had happened. The student brought 4 friends and went up the mountain to search for him. They didn't find any sign of Jack along the way, but they did discover an old, abandoned car. Inside was a childhood family photo of Jack. It became clear that Jack hadn't come up the mountain for research, but to search for his long-lost family who had mysteriously vanished in this area years ago, which meant Jack had to be nearby. At the back of the car, they found an old, frayed rope. Following it, they eventually reached a large, empty cave. The rope ended at the edge of a cliff inside the cave. They didn't know whether Jack had fallen down, but holding on to a glimmer of hope, 4 of them decided to go in and look for him. One person, too scared, chose to stay behind to keep watch outside. Unbeknownst to them, it was that seemingly safe decision that would ultimately lead to his death. Meanwhile, Jack, still spooked by the cave's strange occurrences, had run down the mountain, only to find that the truck he'd driven there during the day was now old and falling apart. Vines covered the entire vehicle. He tried to start it and escape, but every component had been damaged beyond repair. Nearby, Jack spotted his student's car, but it too was covered in vines and severely damaged. It was then that Jack finally realized just how serious the situation was. And the only thing capable of causing all of this was that mysterious cave. Determined to get to the bottom of it, Jack re-entered the cave. To avoid losing his way, he dropped glow sticks every few steps. But when he reached the strange air disturbance zone again, something eerie happened. One of the glow sticks suddenly floated in midair. When Jack stepped closer to retrieve it, the glow stick began moving forward, just like the mysterious man had done earlier that day. A few seconds later, it dropped to the ground as if nothing had happened. Outside the cave, the light once again began to flicker. Without hesitation, and determined to find his missing students and uncover the cave's secrets, Jack pressed on deeper into the unknown.